If you hang out with people that judge you for having some breakouts, get them off. Hello everybody, welcome to makeup sesh? I don't know. This is gonna be skin focused today, just like base, because I mean, I guess if you're breaking out in your eyelids, I can't help you. Also, wash your makeup brushes, dude. I wanna call this catfishing yourself into making you think that you have good skin with the least amount of makeup possible. Catchy, right? So I wanna create a lightweight coverage base, but like for acne and covering up scars, because obviously my skin is dog shit. Sorry, that's mean to myself. I need to be better. Okay, this is good. Like, this light coverage is good for two reasons. It's a twofer. One is because it lets your skin breathe, which God knows we all could do more of. And two, sometimes putting on full coverage can draw more attention to the spots and texture on your face. Also, a bonus, sometimes a full face of makeup is not the vibe. I would never want to criticize someone for wearing a full face of makeup, but in certain situations, a full face just kind of like highlights your insecurity. That sounds a little harsh. It's better to embrace that your skin is just like not perfect at the moment than trying to like suffocate it with loads and loads of makeup. Honestly, if you hang out with people that judge you for having some breakouts, get them off. Okay, let's get started. Oh wait, before we begin, if you could low-key like do me a solid and subscribe, I would be forever indebted to you. Now that we took care of business, let's party. Bit of a lofty goal today. I want you to still see my skin texture. It's not perfect, but still have some coverage so I don't look like this, basically. Also, I just realized that I should tie my bangs up because that's so annoying. I am banging though. I'm never gonna not. Dude, it's low-hanging fruit, but I don't care, okay? With the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer in Baked, I'm going to draw it on pretty heavy in areas that I want to warm up, and then blend that out with a brush. That wasn't funny, but it was just like so obvious. This looks horribly orange on camera. Fuck. I promise in real life it doesn't look this bad. Dang it. Then following that up with the Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek in Work. Sorry. This looks terrible right now. But I promise it'll look good when we're done. Now to conceal. I have 3 different colored concealers of the same nature. And I'm gonna place them strategically. Call me coach, all right? We gotta cover here, and here, and here, and also right here. Avoid buildup in the neutral zone. God, I'm such a loser. Back to concealer. The lightest shade is gonna be used like normal, just to like brighten up the under eye, forehead, a little bit of the chin. I also wanna put this right below the cheekbone. It kinda like makes your cheek pop a bit. Your cheekbone pop. Yeah. The darkest shade is gonna be used for areas that I bronze, like anywhere on the forehead and cheek, basically. I wanna basically like conceal without like messing up the bronzer, because if I just used a normal shade of concealer, it would look really obvious. Also, don't be afraid to like mix shades to like get the exact shade you need. For example, I'll mix the shade caramel and medium to get like the higher part of my cheekbone. Finally, the medium shade is gonna be for anywhere else that I need coverage. I'm just getting some on my finger and only putting it where I need it, like where there's like an actual mark or active breakout. And I'm putting like a moderate amount on. I do want to let those spots that I need more coverage sit for a second to really like sink into the skin.
A few moments later.
And I'm gonna just tap them out with my fingers to blend, but like try to do it around the spot and not directly on it, because you don't want to take away any of the coverage, but you do want it to mesh with the rest of the skin. Okay, now that I've blended a bit, we want to wait for everywhere we've concealed to completely dry down before we move on.
A few minutes later.
So now that the spots that we concealed are dry, I'm gonna apply a layer of the MAC Face and Body Foundation with a sponge. Start where you want the most pigment and then blend outward from that and just like tap over kind of like your cheeks basically, or places that you don't need the coverage. The reason I'm using a sheer coverage foundation is because I still want that blush and bronzer to peep through. Ew. I saw Peeps at the grocery store yesterday. How can something that looks so good taste so bad? It's supposed to taste like a marshmallow, but it doesn't. Honestly, if you like Peeps, you're a psychopath and I don't trust you. Just by the way. What was I even saying? Oh yeah, I still want like the things we did before to peep through a bit. I didn't apply those for no reason. I'm just popping a bit of the Maybelline Master Strobe on my cheekbones using the lightest amount of pressure. Like, I don't want to mess up any of the coverage I just worked so hard for, you know? To set a little bit, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish. If that's not a tongue twister, I don't know what is. Just on my under eye. Ooh, I should have tapped that out a little bit. Whoopsie. Just on my under eye and forehead. I also want to just tap some powder, blush, and bronzer over the top to kind of set that in, but also like bring back some dimension to my skin. So I'm using the Burt's Bees blush in Bare Peach. And for bronzer, I'm using the Well People Bio Base Baked Bronzer. Too many bees, bro. Too many bees. Frig, I gotta kind of get going. I feel like I've had to run errands. Sorry, I'm doing this so slowly, but I feel like I've had to run errands almost every day this week. I have this thing where I can't go anywhere for just one thing. Like, I feel like it's like a waste of a trip to go into a store to just buy one thing. And I end up with a bunch of random crap that I don't need or want, but it's like stuff that's just like on the maybe list in my head. I don't want it for it to be a wasted time. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyways, I wouldn't say it's like a shopping addiction. It's more of just like a bad habit. Do you remember shopping? Remember that movie, Confessions of a Shopaholic? That scarf was so atrocious. Could they have not made an accessory that was like a little less cartoonish? Maybe a silly hat or like a quirky purse, but no, they made it a scarf. Just some notes on a movie from like 2008 or whatever. Also, does it bother anyone else when characters' lies are so bizarre and outlandish? Now, I'm not saying I'm like a psychopath who is like really good at lying or something, but I've never made up a lie that's like so crazy. Like, oh, my great aunt from Antarctica who only communicates by carrier pigeon and also was the inventor of Peeps. My little squirrel brain can only handle so many words at a time. Anyways, it makes me so irked when stuff like that happens in a movie. I guess that's why it's a movie, but it's still so annoying. My final step is the Neutrogena Revitalizing Lip Balm with SPF in, is it Fresh Plum? Fresh Plum. I actually don't like plums. It's like a fruit I'm like really not into. My mom used to pack them for me in my lunch in elementary school. And I just always thought they were gross. Look at me complaining about my mother packing my lunch for me. I'm so ungrateful. Okay, so that's the base done. Finito. I like this because you can still see my skin. Like, I still have scars, but it's just like less noticeable. And you'd be surprised, if you get one takeaway from this, you'd be surprised how much people don't notice your biggest insecurity. So if it is your skin, I would guarantee you that 80% of people do not even notice that you have texture or scarring on your face because they're so worried about themselves. So just keep that in mind if you are really insecure about your skin. And also, it is temporary, and everyone deals with acne at some point in their life, so like, you're not alone. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this was mildly educational, and I hope everyone's doing well. And yeah, later, skater. Why? Just why? I'm such a loser. Who's the loser? Me.